They left the store and began heading down Main Street on foot. Less than a minute later, those same enemies drove past, and the passenger popped out with a gun and let off 10 shots.
Damn.
Her boyfriend grabbed her and used her as a human shield right when they started shooting.
What?
Heidi would die.
Aw, this nigga. God, you tweaking on foe. Yeah. Whoa.
Welcome to Hood War Stories. In this episode, I'll be discussing the life of Heidi B. Heidi Amber McCoy was born on April 2nd, 1988. To the parents of Barbara Lewis and Steve McCoy. She was mixed race of Black American and Salvadorian descent. Heidi was raised in Inglewood, California, a blood-dominated city located on the southwestern portion of LA County. A sizable amount of gang turf in Inglewood is middle class, with many members coming from two-parent functional households. Not everyone is super active, but more affiliated just by being from the city and having friends from the set. Heidi officially jumped off the porch in her teen years. She ran her fades and got put on the 9 Deuce Inglewood families. These are people she grew up with, who fully embraced her, so the transition into the set was organic. Since the late 1990s, there was a dramatic increase in female gang members in LA County. For females recruited into a gang, the male ritual of the jump-in may be replaced by being sexed in, requiring the female to sleep with several or all of the gang members. Unless the female is protected by association with the male gang member, she may become property of the gang. Even the role of a gang member's girlfriend is not that secure. Male gang members are expected to occasionally stray, but the girlfriends are required to remain loyal. This double standard pushes some females into a more masculine role, becoming one of the boys, rather than a sexual object or cheerleader for the gang. The Inglewood families operate more as a family, and view their female members as the homegirls. From the moment she got jumped in, Heidi's turn.
Y'all gotta catch that. So y'all, and it's funny because it's like, coming up, that's exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of chicks that's a part of the gang that's in the gang, like they not really safe. I'm gonna be honest. Like that's you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, especially even thinking about it now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it never was you can never really call like your girl. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you bringing her around the guys and all this and whoop the whoop, like they said, hey, she must remain loyal. But I tell you, 9 out of 10, that never happened. At least, well, you know what I'm saying? That's why shit always hit the fan. And then that's why you got a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, niggas in the street getting set up by females, or females in general is just caught up in a lot of this street shit. It's really, it be behind the chick, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the times. Like they be mostly involved in a lot of this shit, but they can't be trusted on a level of like, oh, this my girl and she gonna hold it. Nah, not in that game. Like they damn near like a nigga at the end of the day. You gotta look at it like that. So yeah, it's crazy.
Was on max. She wasn't large in size, but that didn't mean anything. She was hopping out of whips and parking anything that was Crip, pressing lines from Manchester down the Century. If her homies needed her to fight a female, she's pulling up with no hesitation. Her squabble was known as one of the coldest in Inglewood. She got the love and respect from her hood for being a solid, bona fide rider. Let's fast forward to 2011. After years of being active in the streets, Heidi starts dating a guy from the Broadway gangster Crips that are located just east of the 110 freeway. Although Blood and Crip members dating is fairly common, it could potentially be a conflict of interest. In the early morning hours of December 11th, 2011, at around 1 a.m., Heidi and her boyfriend were walking up to the liquor store in his hood. Just before they entered, her dude encountered enemy gang members out front, and they exchanged fighting words. After the verbal confrontation, Heidi and her boyfriend would proceed to enter the liquor store and make their purchase. They left the store and began heading down Main Street on foot. Less than a minute later, those same enemies drove past, and the passenger popped out with a gun and let off 10 shots.
Damn.
Her boyfriend grabbed her and used her as a human shield right when they started shooting.
What?
Heidi would die.
Aw, this nigga. God, you tweaking on foe. Yeah. Bro, if I done heard so many of them type of, bro, this like the third time I done heard a gang, let's say a member at that. A member, like you supposed to be out there, bro. How you using your woman as a shield, bro? That's sad, bro. You tweaking, bro. That's soft as hell, foe. Like I can't even respect that. You went out like a coward, dog. Like you using your girl as a shield, bro. It was one, I forget, bro. It was one I did in a car. They was in a car, and he pretty much did the same thing. Used it as a shield, man. That's some of the most cowardice shit you can do, bro. If anything, you supposed to throw yourself in the way of the shots. You get what I'm saying? Especially considering the fact that 9 times out of 10, and we know not in this situation, that the woman that's usually with you ain't even a part of the gang. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, imagine that. She in it heavy, but at the end of the day, it's like, nigga, you supposed to be the Hercules. You supposed to be the gorilla. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be putting yourself in the way of the danger to make sure she can make it home safe to her kids or to the kids or however that go. But you using her as a shield, man, that goes to say a lot about you niggas, bro. On folk, bro. That's crazy.
At the age of 23,
sad, bro.
Her Crip boyfriend will also be shot in the arm and in the ass, but he would end up surviving.
He survived. That's crazy. Coward, bro.
Eyewitnesses were in shock, and there was a bit of outrage, as the bullets were intended for her boyfriend.
Of course.
Something nearly happened to him, as allegedly gang members showed up to the hospital he was at to finish the job. He had to change locations. Heidi would leave behind 2 living parents and a daughter. Her daughter's father, Keith Walton, also known as Green Eyes, was the ringleader of CMT, one of the Inglewood family's most lucrative, violent cliques. Green Eyes was a felon and had multiple state convictions. The earliest had come from a robbery with a firearm that he committed at age 18. His life had been marked by violence. Both his first wife and his stepbrother had been murdered in gang-related shootings in the mid-2010s. He had his clique stage a series of daytime smash and grab robberies at Southern California jewelry stores that netted the thieves $6 million worth of Rolexes and other high-end watches. In 2018, he was sentenced to 55 years in a federal prison. Heidi B was a beloved member of the Inglewood families, and her memory is still being honored to this day.
Hey, Heidi B, what's happening, blood? It's your motherfucking birthday.
Throwing it up, boy.
I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Show me who your friends are, and I'll show you your future. You know, something like that, right? Let me tell you, that nigga's that's some of the most. And of course, he survived. You know what I'm saying? That's how the story always go, bro. It be the one that it's intended for. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say she ain't had no karma in the streets like that shit. She was out there sounding like she was moving heavy and hard. Y'all gotta understand that energy and frequency you put out there will eventually be turned. So I'm not gonna say she was at the wrong place at the wrong time, but at the same time she was. Cause again, it wasn't intended for her, but when you moving like that, man, you gotta understand, you know what I'm saying? This should be a lesson to a lot of young women out there, you know what I'm saying? When you thinking this is the life you want to live, or you think you want a boyfriend, that game banger in the streets, man, this the result. Whether you come close or whether you do, you are the fate. This is what happens, man. Honestly, I grew up seeing it, was close with it. I mean, and it's unfortunate. You know, I got a different mindset now, and I look back and I look at all of this stuff, and I'm just like, it's so goofy. It's goofy. You know what I'm saying? Goofy as hell on fold. We tweaking like big time. So, but this is what you subject to. You know, I can't believe he threw her in the way of the shots, man. That's crazy. Unfortunate. You could kind of question, like, had he not done that, how would that end up? But again, man, it's already done. But like I said, man, show me who your friends, show me your surroundings, and I'll tell you what your future will be like. Like I said, it should be a lesson. You know what I mean? RP to the young lady. Y'all already know how it go, man. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Peace. Yeah. Whoa.